Hey guys, Tomboy601, and today we are back with another episode of Best and Worst. This time to finish out our celebration of Golden Week, we're going to be talking Best and Worst Tier 6 Japanese destroyers, because there's 4 of them, and I definitely got a question repeatedly this week whether Asashio was worth it, which one was better, so I figured this episode would be dedicated to that. But before we dive in, we're not going to be doing comment of the day because I want to cover some housekeeping. So first things first, this weekend we'll be having our merch drop. First of every month we have new merch. This one is featuring characters. So if you like to see some merch, we've showed it previously this week, but it will be out this weekend. Be sure to go ahead and visit the merch shop. Number 2, we still have our tier 6, 5, and 4 giveaway going on. You can go ahead and check my community tab if you're interested in winning a tier 4, 5, or 6 premium ship that can currently be bought for doubloons. Details are on a video we put out a little while ago and also on the giveaway page. And finally, tonight, if you're watching this on day of recording, I will be streaming as always, but we won't be streaming Warships. Pokemon Snap comes out, and guys, that was one of my favorite games growing up. It definitely shaped the way I came into photography as a love, which is how I sort of make my money outside of being a YouTuber, as I do a lot of photography work. So I'll be playing that game tonight on stream at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Come by and check it out over on my Twitch channel if you are interested. Enough with all that. Let's go ahead now and talk about the best and worst ships. Usually for this series, what we do is we go through and we basically look at all the ship stats and give it plus 2 points if it's the best at something, minus 2 points if it's the worst at something. And we've done that, and for I think the first time ever, the result of this kind of mashed together algorithm is also the results and the true opinions of myself. So first things first, let's go ahead and talk about what I think is the worst of the 4 Japanese tier 6 destroyers, and that's Shiratsuyu. Yeah, the Japanese gunboat that's not very good at being a gunboat. It is very interesting. HP is 12,800, which is right in the middle of the line for this tier, between 6 and 20 millimeters of armor. It does have 5 guns, which is the least number of barrels for any of the destroyers. All of them share the 127 millimeters. It does have the longest range of any of those ships at 10.8 kilometers. Reload time 7.2 seconds, the quickest of any of the destroyers, but that doesn't help it make up for the lack of 1 barrel. Least shells per minute of any ship or any of the destroyers at only 42, which hinders its guns immensely. 180 time on those guns, relatively slow, 30 seconds. HE damage, 1800, but because of that really slow shells per minute, you have the lowest damage per minute while firing HE at the tier, or for these ships at 75,600. You do have a 7% chance to cause fire. AP damage, it's a little bit better, 2200, but you still have the least DPM of any of these ships, 91,667. And remember, Shiratsuyu is supposed to be the Japanese gunboat. It's not supposed to be a destroyer. Well, it's not supposed to be a torpedo destroyer. It's supposed to be the Japanese gunboat, and it is the worst gunboat of all of the other ones. And the other ships are definitely torpedo-based ships. That is definitely their strengths. Anyways, moving on, it does have 2 4-barrel torpedo launchers with a reload time of 101 seconds. Damage is the lowest of any of the destroyers, of these destroyers, 16,900 with a detectability range of 1.8 kilometers. Torp speed is average at 62 knots, and that has a range of 10 kilometers. Technically, it is the longest, but it shares that range with pretty much all of the other Japanese destroyers. Max speed of the vessel, slowest of any of these destroyers, and there are already destroyers that aren't known to be that quick at 34 knots. Turning radius, though, it is the most maneuverable at 590 meters. Rudder shift time, 3.1 seconds, and then it has the worst concealment. Base concealment by sea 6.8 kilometers, base detectability by air 3.4, and base while in smoke 2.5. And overall, Shiratsuyu is just an underwhelming ship, right? It is the Minsk of this line. It is the thing that you have to grind through in order to get to the tier 7 gunboat, which is like passable and decent because it fires like a machine gun. But beyond that, it is legitimately the worst of any of these boats. Its strengths lie in its torpedoes, but the other ships all have better torpedoes, so then you're also just trying to use the guns, and like they're technically a lot worse than any of the other. It's just bad. So that is the worst ship at the tier. The best ship of the Japanese destroyers at tier 6, it's going to be Yukikaze. We got this ship recently as part of Stellar Clash's like ultimate reward. It was essentially a premium with extra steps because you could buy out those challenges that you could complete in the regular game to get Yukikaze. And yeah, if it ever goes back up on sale and you're a Japanese destroyer player, it's one that you're going to want to pick. Anyways, highest HP at the of the ship's 15,100, between 6 and 20 millimeters of armor, 3 two-barreled guns that are at 127 millimeters, firing range of 10.4 kilometers with a reload time of 7.5 seconds. That gives it a shells per minute of 48 rounds per minute. 180 time on the guns, 26.1 seconds with an HE damage of 2150, the highest of any of the destroyers, and giving it the highest DPM for firing HE at 103,200. Chance of fire on those shells, 9%, also the highest of any of these ships. AP damage 2200, bringing it into a tie with the Akatsuki when it comes to damage per minute while firing AP. Torpedoes, it does have 2 4-barreled launchers with the longest reload time on those torps at 104 seconds, though the torps hit like a truck at 21,367 damage per torpedo. Detectability range on them, 1.8 kilometers, and they are blistering fast at 76 knots. Torp range, though, shortest of any of these ships at only 8 kilometers, but still, that's some pretty decent range. Max speed, 35 knots with a turning radius of 640 meters. Rudder shift time, quickest of any of the ships at 2.7 seconds. Detectability by sea, 6.3 kilometers. Detectability by air, 3.3 kilometers. And while firing in smoke, 2.5. And overall, I think Yukikaze is the sort of total package while looking at these Japanese destroyers. The guns, well, they turn out to be the best of any of the guns, which is really weird because it probably could have done worse. But hey, guess what? I'll take it having the best guns at the tier. But more importantly, the torpedoes, they hit like a truck. And oh boy, when you get a hit on them, is it so satisfying. The only downside really to this ship is it does lack the utility of maybe the Asashio, of the premium Asashio without its reload booster. But as far as pure stats wise and a ship that I would prefer to take into battle at any point, Yukikaze all the way. With that, I think I'm just going to go ahead and run through my personal rankings 1 through 4. As we just said, and as I said earlier, the best and worst do match up for me. I definitely believe Yukikaze is the best of these ships, just because it is a total package. Akatsuki, the tech tree Japanese torpedo boat, comes in second to me. I think it's a very respectable ship overall. It is very much a torpedo boat, has a little bit worse detection than, say, Yukikaze or Asashio, but as far as the tech tree, what you would expect to get from a tech tree ship, I think it's pretty great. I think it's a fantastic ship, and I'd be happy to roll with it pretty much any day. If Japanese torpedo boats were like my favorite thing, they're not really my personal favorite gameplay method, but I definitely think it is a respectable class and a respectable ship to roll. On the next one, the third, I'm putting Asashio. Asashio is not my favorite ship to play. I know it might not have come across in my review this week, but Asashio is a rough ship, especially with its guns. The torpedo launchers are nice, but you're still kind of felt like that's your primary weapon, and if you miss your shot, yes, you have the torpedo launcher, but Asashio just, I'm not a fan of that ship overall, and it's one that I would avoid. And that should just tell you how much I hate Shiratsuyu because of just how bad I feel like Shiratsuyu is compared to it. So yeah, as far as my rankings go, number 1, Yukikaze, number 2, Akatsuki, number 3, Asashio, and number 4, Shiratsuyu. And yeah, guys, those are my rankings. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. My name's TommyBoy601. If you like this video, go ahead, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Have a great day. Be sure to come visit me over on my stream tonight, playing some Pokemon Snap. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and a fantastic weekend. See ya.